Well, it's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, in the morning, you see that sun? You see that sun hitting my skin, getting that vitamin E early, or vitamin D early in the morning, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I wanted to kind of recap the ProBox Promotions card that I had a chance to watch just last night at the time of me shooting this video. You know, a lot to talk about. I guess I'll start with the co-main event because the story of the night was the co-main event between Axel Vega, aka El Mini, one of the shortest fighters in boxing at 4'10". But man, that guy is a pit bull. If you let that guy close the gap on you and set his feet and explode, it's gonna be a long night for you. He was taking on Angelino Cordova for the WBO Latino light flyweight title, and for Vega, right, for El Mini. You know, I believe this is his first fight, or one of his first fights back since he lost to Hiroto Kayaguchi last year on the Chocolatito, a guy I was trying to undercard. So he's trying to get back into the fold, get back into the mix, get back into potentially getting that rematch back and being a factor at 108. So this is a very important fight for him. And you know what? I thought he fought a brilliant fight against Cordova. I thought, you know, he did a good job pressuring him. He did a good job of bending those knees and slipping under the shots. I thought overall it was a great display of how to push as a shorter fighter with a 4 or 5 inch reach disadvantage. He used that disadvantage, he turned it into an advantage, and he pushed Cordova back for the majority of the fight and was landing some good, sharp, explosive punches to the head, to the body, maintained defensive responsibility while doing it. I thought it was a good workmanlike performance. Cordova had a late surge and had some good moments in the latter part of the fight, but I thought Cordova lost. I would say if you wanted to be real generous, the most rounds you could give him is 4 rounds. The judges saw it differently, and they awarded Cordova with a very, very questionable decision. I would go as far as to say it was a gift decision. It was a robbery. And it's really a shame that hard-working fighters like El Mini go in there, they fight their ass off, they give the fans a great show. They clearly win the fight, and the judges tell you otherwise, that he didn't win the fight. So I don't know where he goes from here, but it's just another day in boxing, another robbery. So I wish him the best with his career. I'm going to keep following him because he's definitely worth following, and I hope ProBox Promotions and the fine folks over there, Gary Jonas, Paulie Malignaggi, Tarver, Roy Jones, Juan Manuel Marquez, I hope they continue to bring him back and continue to showcase his talent on ProBox, because like I said, he went out there and he did his job. It's that the referees didn't do their job. So it's unfortunate, but it's another day, another robbery. So that was the co-main event. The main event, right, you had Jonathan Gonzalez against Mark Barriga, you know, the Southpaw versus Southpaw matchup. Barriga talked a big game before the fight, talking about, you know, this is going to be Pacquiao versus Cotto Part 2, because he's Filipino and Gonzalez is Puerto Rican, and we know what happened when Cotto fought Pacquiao. Pacquiao beat the fuck out of Cotto, right? So he's basically saying the same thing. Barriga is a good fighter. You know, he had lost. He had challenged for one of the world titles at 105 pounds and lost a split decision. So second time challenge for the title, came out strong. Early rounds, Barriga came out strong, throwing some good, you know, 3, 4, 5 punch combinations, mixing in the left hand, showing that jab, showing some of those foundational skills you develop when you're an amateur. And early on, I was thinking, man, this is gonna be a good fight. Jonathan Gonzalez was really sharp too. He would make, a lot of times he'd make Angelino Cordova miss. He'd pivot around the side, turn him, shoot the straight left hand. You know, he showed his sharpness early on. But the sad part is, as the fight drew on, there was a lot of holding going on, particularly more so from Barriga than Jonathan Gonzalez. And it really assaulted away what was a really bad, it looked like a promising fight early on, but it really made the fight not be what it could have been. And it turned into a really bad fight, to be honest with you. But Jonathan Gonzalez, he boxed very well when he wasn't being held or when he wasn't holding, behind a good jab, some good feints, and overhand left, and you know, he maintains his undefeated record at 108. I know he's got 3 losses, but this is a guy in Gonzalez who's never lost at 108. And now he's defended his belt. He's a legitimate world champion. Defended his belt. and now he's a legitimate world champion. So now that opens the door potentially for him to get a fight against maybe a Hiroto Kayaguchi, who's a WBC champion. I know Kayaguchi's team expressed an interest in that fight. I'm gonna tell you this: I think Gonzalez is very good, and you know he can punch a little bit, and he can box, and he's got good footwork. But he's gonna need to be about 2 levels better than he was in the Barriga fight to have a chance to beat Kayaguchi. Because I'm gonna tell you this: Kayaguchi, especially in that last fight and whatnot, he showed he's got all the intangibles to be not a good fighter, but potentially a great fighter. You know, he's got character. He can box. He can punch. He can counter. He can be a back foot fighter. He can be a front foot fighter. You know, so I think Jonathan Gonzalez is going to have to find a way to get more spacing to be the boxer in that fight because, you know, this fight wasn't it for him. But he won, so that's the important thing. This is a results-based business. The result was he defended his title, so he gets to move on to bigger and better things and maintain his status in the sport as the only, you know, Puerto Rican fighter who actually lives and trains in Puerto Rico that's a world champion. So shout out to Jonathan Gonzalez doing his thing. So there's that. And I guess to close the video out, the performance of the night, all right? The performance of the night definitely came with Najee Lopez in his 5th pro fight as he took on the, what was the guy's name? I don't remember the guy's name he fought, but the guy he fought was a Colombian Olympian in 2012. You know, 37 years old, yes, but a guy that was an Olympian, had won a bunch of, you know, medals in South America and Central America, and you know had that foundation as a really good amateur. Was 1-0 coming in. Najee's 5-0, but it's not really like a 5-0 versus 1-0 because of this guy's experience. But Najee, I thought, fought very brilliantly behind the jab, whether it be the up jab, whether it be the regular jab. Showed him that early on. As the fight went on, he began to mix in the right hand, the left hook, and he landed some nice, you know, pull counters, lead right hands, just all kinds of different right hands. And really, I cannot emphasize this enough. Najee Lopez is one of the best prospects this country has to offer. I truthfully believe, whether it be cruiserweight or light heavyweight, which he said it's going to be light heavyweight, whatever weight class he campaigns in, I think he will be a world champion. I don't normally say that with confidence about prospects because I'm a big believer of you got to wait to see how prospects develop before, you know, you say what they're going to be. But this kid, I've had a chance to watch for a number of years in the gym in South Florida. You know, I know what he's about. I know about his mindset towards boxing. I really think he's going to be a world champion. And his brother, Hakeem, fought on this card too. He had a very good performance. Hakeem, I don't think is as talented or has the ceiling of his brother Najee, but what I can say about Hakeem is he's a very, very he is a 12-round fighter, and I mean that in the best way possible. Very well conditioned fighter. He took on a guy that was 8-0 in Cruz Stewart, and you could see like he got better and better as the fight went on. And I don't think we're going to see the best of Hakeem Lopez until he fights 10, 12 rounders. You know, because he was doing his best boxing in the 7th, 8th round of that fight. When he fights them 10, 12 rounders, 10 and 12 rounders, we're going to see Hakeem Lopez develop. So great performance from Najee, very good performance from Hakeem, and overall just a decent card for ProBox. Not the best card they put on because they put on some great cards already. $1.99 a month, $18 for the year. It is the best value in boxing. I would recommend any true boxing fan and watcher my channel subscribe to ProBox TV and ProBox Promotions because they're putting on great cards, competitive fights. But yeah, last night's card, not the best card they put on, but that's only because they've set such a high standard for themselves. But for $1.99, you can't beat what you got last night. So that's my summary of the card. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe because we're on the road to 50,000 subscribers. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.
Thank you for watching True School Sports.
No, follow this kid.
Oh.
You know, he's a true, you know, it's a young, true, passionate person who follows boxing. He wakes up thinking about boxing and he goes to sleep thinking about boxing.
This is true. This is true.
Good kid, good man, and looking forward to seeing him everywhere in the boxing world.
Hey man, if you ain't subscribed to True School Sports, you fucking up, man. Make sure you subscribe, bro.
Fucking up big time.
Make sure, man.